Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Hypnotic Awareness. I'm Quessie.
I'm Ali Mae.
And I'm Ashleigh.
And we are all certified medical support clinical hypnotherapists. And today we will be talking about affirmations, aka suggestion writing.
So today we will be discussing the process on how to create a suggestion that will actually get to your subconscious mind. And as a result, you will naturally begin to act it out and it will manifest into your physical reality much easier.
Once you start doing the work to clear your limiting beliefs around being able to manifest things, then those manifestations do actually happen. And we start by doing that with suggestions and positive affirmations in hypnotherapy and on our own. You don't necessarily need a hypnotherapy session. This is work you can start doing as soon as you stop listening to this podcast.
Absolutely. Affirmations are very powerful in your everyday life. It's an easy way to change negative thinking into positive thinking just by saying an affirmation.
Yeah, because why does manifesting have to be hard when it could be as simple as creating the perfect suggestion, tailoring it to specifically what needs to be enhanced in your life? The mind is a channel that the invisible is made visible.
Yes. So have you ever thought about something so much and then it comes to fruition? That's manifesting.
Have you guys manifested anything that you want to share with our listeners real quick?
I've manifested the house that I'm living in now. When I started looking to buy a house, I came across this house. I loved it. I fell in love with it. And I called about it and it was off the market. So I was devastated. I kept looking, I was looking for other houses and stuff, but this house just kept sticking in my mind. And 3 months later, I'm still looking. I still haven't found the perfect house. And something told me, like, call back. Let's see. So I called back and it was still off the market, but the people were willing to negotiate and to discuss selling it. So it happened and I live in my dream home now.
Yeah, I also have a few success stories where I've thought about something so much and it just happened. Like, for example, the car that I'm in right now, I remember driving my old car and just knowing that I was in a Mercedes. No one could tell me anything about the car that I was in. I always thought it was a Mercedes. I always parked it like a Mercedes. I always drove around thinking that it was a Mercedes. And before I knew it, I was in my dream car. So that's just one of the things that I've thought about, and it actually happened.
I've definitely manifested some new friendships lately that I'm really very grateful for. And I believe I manifested being a hypnotherapist. I used to be a video producer, and with COVID, there weren't shoots in Chicago. And so I was really trying to look for a path of serving others, and hypnotherapy just kind of hit me in the face on a walk with my dog. And I haven't looked back since.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and life is really just a combination of all of our manifestations, whether good or bad. And we kind of talked about that in our episode on the law of correspondence, where our outside reality is a reflection of our inside reality. So let's get into what exactly is a suggestion. And a suggestion is almost like an affirmation, or is an affirmation. It is an instruction or command that we can say to ourselves, and it directly reaches our subconscious mind.
The secret to having your affirmations come to fruition is the feeling behind the affirmation. So when you are writing your affirmations, your suggestions, you want to make sure that you are getting the feelings associated with the affirmation and that those are really good feelings, so that it will manifest.
Yeah, you want to only include positive feelings and feelings that your subconscious mind will recognize. So not feelings that everyone else is using, but feelings that emotionally resonate with you.
And you never want to end a suggestion or an affirmation on anything negative. You just want to keep it all positive. And we described in our last episode, even if it's something you don't consciously believe, by going into a state of hypnosis, you're communicating directly to the subconscious mind that doesn't know the difference between the truth or a lie. So you will start to believe it, even consciously.
When we do interview our clients, we listen to what their personal lie is so that we can reverse it and include it in the suggestion. So we listen for the limiting beliefs, we listen for the personal lie, we listen to how much the client desires to change. And we also listen to, is there a secondary gain? Is there something there that will prevent the client subconsciously from achieving their goal? Because consciously, we all know what we want. However, our programming sometimes says something different.
We also refer to that as like a negative payoff. So let's say when you started smoking with a best friend of yours, and now, you moved away and you don't live by her anymore. And maybe you continue to smoke cigarettes because on a subconscious level, you still have that bond with her. So like Ashleigh was saying, that's just something that, we listen for and we maybe bring to your attention to then be able to understand and reprogram your subconscious mind around not wanting to smoke anymore.
Yes. And these are all questions that you can ask yourself when you're writing affirmations at home in your journal, just to see if there's anything underlying to keep you from really affirming those.
There's several things that you should consider before tailoring your suggestion. And the first is desire and expectation. And for the quickest result, the client needs to actually desire and expect that the goal is going to be achieved without a doubt. So there must be feelings or emotions that are motivating the client to change. And when I say motivation, I mean you must be personally motivated to change, not your partner, not your friends. You have to be motivated to change and actually expect that your goal is going to come to fruition.
Yes, that actually might be the most important of anything we're about to say, the desire and the expectation. You have to make sure that you want it for you and that nobody else is pushing you to do this.
And another tip that we always suggest for suggestion and affirmation writing is make sure that it's realistic and reasonable. We don't necessarily want to program goals that obviously aren't achievable. So let's say there's a marathon in 3 weeks and you want to run that marathon. Sorry, it's just not enough time for you to prepare. So we have to really make sure that what we're focusing on is something that you can prepare for. So like a marathon in a year, great. Yeah, we can absolutely help program your subconscious mind to get you to achieve that goal.
And the reason why it is important for it to be reasonable and realistic is because if it is unrealistic and unreasonable, your critical factor will automatically become engaged. And the idea of hypnosis and a hypnotherapy session is to relax that critical factor and to allow positive suggestions to sink into your programming.
And just to remind viewers what the critical factor is, it's that thing in your conscious mind, that monkey mind, the chatterbox. It's like your biggest, highly analytical, critical inner person. So we relax that in the state of hypnosis.
Yes, it's that voice in your head that never shuts up.
So when we say realistic, we don't mean limited. We don't want to limit our clients. We want our clients to dream as big as they want. However, it has to be reasonable.
Another thing that you want to do when you are writing suggestions, writing affirmations, is to make sure that you're speaking in positive terms. So you will be using words and images of things that you do want. You don't want to include anything that you don't want. So in your affirmations, you're not going to say things like, I don't want to eat chocolate. Instead, you would say something like, more and more now, I eat healthier foods. More and more now, I feel good when I eat healthier foods. You know, your subconscious mind works in the way as if you're telling your subconscious not to think of a red door, what do you think your mind is going to go? Where do you think it's going to go?
That's all I'm thinking about now is red doors.
Exactly.
Right.
If I tell you not to think about an elephant, what are you thinking about?
That's an elephant.
Right. Your suggestions definitely need to be in a positive sense. You want to use positive wording, and absolutely do not include anything that you don't want in your affirmations and your suggestions.
And you'll notice when we do smoking cessation, like you don't hear us saying, I don't want cigarettes anymore. Cigarettes. You know, we say, I am a non-smoker for life.
I breathe healthy air now.
Exactly. So another thing that you should keep in mind when tailoring your suggestions is keeping everything in the present tense. So that may look like you creating a suggestion, talking about what you want right now. Everything has to be stated right now. Like right now, you're doing what you want to do, not the past tense, not the future tense, but right now. So I am XYZ. I am now XYZ.
Yes, I would definitely say that this is another very important point. Present tense is letting your subconscious know to act now also when you're speaking in present tense. If you're speaking in future tense, your subconscious doesn't know to do that or when to do that. So you are you're giving your subconscious a command to act now.
If you put it in future tense, then your subconscious mind is going to think just that it is coming instead of that it is here.
And that leads us to our next point. We like to definitely use progressive form with some incremental steps. So you hear us saying quite often, starting off a suggestion with day by day and in every way, or more and more now, just to kind of ease that subconscious mind into making those positive changes around your limiting beliefs.
Another thing you want to do in making affirmations is chunk it down. So if you have a really grand scheme of a goal, you want to chunk it down into smaller goals so that it's more achievable, it's more realistic, it's more attainable. And also if the goal is too far-fetched, chunk it down. So you're just taking steps towards the goal.
It's like taking baby steps towards reaching your goal. And so, you know, you don't see the big rainforest in front of you. It's just start with the little tree and then gradually work up to the bigger goals.
Yes. And that also elicits the feeling that you need along with it, because every time you accomplish one of those small goals, it's going to motivate you even more to go after the next one and the next one and the next one.
A lot of times clients come to us and they might have several things that they want to work on: sadness, worries, problems with sleeping, problems with eating. So we're trained professionals. We know how to help you chunk it down and focus on one thing. And then a lot of times, you know, you're going to end up starting to see a ripple effect of positive changes in the work that we do together.
If you don't know where to start, when you chunk those down, start with the thing that feels most natural, the first goal that feels the most attainable to you, the most natural, the thing that excites you the most, maybe.
Yeah, and the idea of tailoring the suggestion overall is for it to be easy. We don't want our subconscious mind to reject anything that we come up with. And so we want it to be easy. We want it to be simple. We want it to just get straight to the point and not confuse the subconscious mind. So that brings us into another characteristic for suggestions, and that is having logical cause. So what that is if X is true, then Y must occur. And what that may look like, for example, like your weight loss client who comes in and is trying to come up with a suggestion. So something that I would probably ask the client is, what is something that you value most about losing weight? What is something that is important to you why you should lose the weight. And oftentimes my clients, they value their health. So a suggestion may sound like, because I value my health, I now eat more fruits and vegetables. Because I value my health, I walk 30 minutes a day, etc.
Okay, and timing. We need to time these suggestions. We have to tell our subconscious mind that we're carrying these things out now, but also throwing in a date is always great too. Like if there's a specific day that you want to quit smoking, we're going to focus on that date. If there's an exam that you're preparing for on a specific date, we're going to say that date in your suggestion so that your subconscious mind is fully aware when that goal is to be achieved. I like to tell my clients there's really no such thing as an unrealistic goal, just unrealistic timing. So definitely including timing is really important in reaching your goals.
Let's talk about action words. You want to include action words to give your subconscious the ability to act. If you suggest just the ability to lose weight or to quit smoking or to increase your finances, you're really just telling your subconscious that it has the ability to do so. You're not actually giving it an action to do said thing. So you want to create a word that pushes the action into place. So for example, more and more now, I go on long walks. Therefore, I lose weight easily. Something like that. You put the therefore in there, and that gives reason for your action to work.
Another characteristic that you should consider when creating your suggestion is having positive imagery. So that is using words that have an emotional impact on you. So not using words that everyone else is using, but using words that actually really resonate with you. Because as we know, the subconscious mind, it speaks in imagery. So when you begin to visualize your suggestion and your goals, it's good to generate positive imagery, seeing yourself actually doing the intended act, seeing yourself in that dream car, seeing yourself in that dream body, seeing yourself in that character that you want to be.
Another characteristic of suggestion writing is keep it short, keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it. I like to use day by day and in every way. I am getting better and better for clients in the beginning a lot of times. Another good one for like exam preparation is I know exactly what I need to know when I need to know it. The stuff doesn't have to be long, drawn out, epic poems. In fact, we do suggest chunking your goal down to 1 sentence, 2-sentence goals. Just, it's that much more attainable and realistic. So just a friendly reminder to keep it nice and short and simple and not use too overcomplicated language.
And lastly, another important part is repetition. So once you have an affirmation, a suggestion that you feel is solid, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. So this will help drive that into your subconscious. It'll help drive action into your daily life and your conscious life. And it'll help bring everything to fruition.
So realize that we've given you guys a lot of tips on things to remember for suggestion writing. So just something to help you out to remember. We always say that we like to write SMART goals. So specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed goals.
That about sums it up for affirmation writing, suggestion writing. If any of you listeners out there have any questions for us, you need some suggestions yourself, let us know in the comments. Of course, like, subscribe, share, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.